All right, guys, ready to get started? For those of you guys who don't know me, my name is Chef Tani. I want to thank Haitieville for having me. I'm very excited to be here. So for tonight's menu, I'm going to be making a cheesy Maïs Moulin and oxtail. So the oxtail takes a lot of time, so I already have some already made so you can see the final product. But I'm going to show you all the steps that I'm going to be doing, or that I usually do. My name is Chef Tani, as I said. I am in Broward County, Florida, representing for the South today. Yeah, so my parents are from Haiti. I was born in Brooklyn, moved to Florida. I've been here ever since, a long time. So that's a little bit about me. I guess we should start cooking, huh? So I already cleaned my oxtail. As I said, I only have a small little amount here because I just want to show you how I make it, and then we'll see the finished product afterwards. So I'm going to start off with my oxtail. I just rinse it, and then we're going to marinate it. I usually use my marinade. It's my own beautiful blend of delicious spices and herbs and all kinds of magical things. So I just pour some of that, and then I add all kinds of other things to accentuate the flavors. So right here I have a shallot. It looks like a small onion, a small red onion. It's a mix of an onion and garlic. So if you don't have one or the other, you can always use a shallot. Most people don't know what shallots are. Hi everyone, we're just getting started. Welcome. Just peeling my shallot. I'm gonna give it a little cut. I cut it in half. I cut the end off, not the root, but the end. I cut it in half, peel it, and then to get a really nice dice, you're just gonna cut like that, and then you go down. Like that. Get nice little dices. Then add that. Let me know if you guys can see and hear everything okay. Hi, Chef Alan. For those of you guys just joining us, I'm making cheesy polenta Maïs Moulin with oxtail. I just marinated my oxtail with my own special marinade. I might be selling this for the holidays, but I'll stay tuned. Follow me on Instagram if you don't already, for when I'm gonna be dropping that. Salt, I use kosher salt. I don't use what's it called again? I don't use table salt. I use kosher sea salt for everything that I season. Fresh black pepper, onion powder, some garlic powder. I like things a little bit spicy, so I'm gonna add some cayenne. We're gonna top it off with pickles anyway, but you know. You want the spicy in the meat. And then some paprika. I'm gonna mix my meat, kind of massage it in there. Massage all those flavors. How's everyone doing tonight? Hello, Titin. As I said, I'm Chef Tani. I am the owner and executive chef of Pretty Yummy by Chef Tani, located in South Florida. Hi, Moulin. So, as you can see, the oxtail's nicely seasoned. If you can, try to do this ahead of time. If you do it like a day or two in advance, the flavors are really going to concentrate and really just absorb in the meat. It's going to be way better. But for show purposes, hello, I got to do it this way. As I said, I already have the TV or Instagram magic in the oven, finishing up for the final product, but we're going to go through the steps for you guys tonight. No, this does not take an hour. Like oxtail takes, so my first batch of oxtail for, that's gonna be completed by the time I finish with my demo, it took about 3 hours. And I just throw it in the oven because that way it's just a nice even temperature. Instead of, like, you could do it on the stove, which is also perfectly fine, which is how I used to do it. But I just find putting it in the oven, and then just, it's like set it and forget it. I just check it every hour to make sure that there's enough liquid, it's not drying up. And then, you know, you just keep checking to make sure like you get the desired tenderness, and then you take it out. But no, this is not this is not a fast dish. Most Haitian food is like stewed dishes, so they tend to take a bit of time. So let me take off my gloves. And I'm gonna move we're gonna move on over to my oven. You guys can still see okay? Hello. All right. So I have my little shoje already heating up a little bit. I'm gonna throw some oil in there. You guys have any questions for me so far? For those of you guys just joining, I'm Chef Tani. We are making cheesy maïs moulin and oxtail. I use an olive oil blend. So it's usually olive oil mixed with canola oil. If you use straight olive oil, it tends to burn a little bit faster and lose a lot of the qualities that you use olive oil for. So I use olive oil blends for that. I use extra virgin olive oil for like finishing dishes and stuff. But as far as cooking, it's usually an olive oil blend. It's not hot enough yet. Yeah, I don't think, when I told my mom this is what I was making, she's like, we don't normally do it like this. And I'm like, I know, but it's Haitian influence, not necessarily straight Haitian food, right? Let's see if you can see it. I don't know if you're gonna get a good shot of like me and the food at the same time over here, but this is what's important. Now when you're cooking this, you wanna make sure that you're letting the meat get color without burning the bottom. Like all of the ippies and stuff is like, it's easy to burn at the bottom. You wanna make sure that you're paying attention so it doesn't. My food is very heavily Haitian influenced, but it's also got a lot of, you know, American influence as well, since I was born and raised here, but grew up on Haitian cooking from my grandmother mostly. I feel like these kinds of shoujis are key to getting the right consistency. I love these little shoujis. You don't want to put too much meat at once. Like, there's a reason why I'm doing it this way, because I don't want to cool down my pan too much, because the whole point of this process is to get some color on the meat. Yes, grandma's cookings are the best. Usually, some of them struggle. One of mine was amazing. The other one was talented in many other areas. Other things that I have that I'm going to be adding. Yes, she's great at sewing. Yes, man. I have beef stock here for when I'm going to do the sauce. I also have tomato sauce and diced tomatoes. So normally I make my own stock. This is a blend of store stock and my own. You can use any kind of stock any kind of stock you want. I prefer using stocks because you're gonna get a lot more flavor. If you want to make your own stock, it's probably best because you're gonna get a better consistency, and you're gonna get a lot less sodium than you would with the store-bought stock. But either way, it's much better than using water. Hi, Rudy. And as you can see, like this, you want that, but you don't want it to get any darker than that. So what I usually do is I'll move my meat around because it'll cool the pan down just a tad without completely cooling it down, so that it doesn't burn and it continues to actually get the color that you want. You want that caramelization. Any questions? It doesn't capture both of us. If I move the camera too much to see me, then you don't get to see the food, and we're here to see the food. You're a good chef. What kind of food do you like to make? Haitian food? Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna add the rest of Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna add some ippies. Ippies, I made this fresh last night. It smells so good in here right now. Tomato paste. This is going to help it get lots of nice color. You want to kind of toast the tomato paste. That also helps with the flavoring. The acidity also helps break down. So marinade versus ippies. The marinade is usually, like, I put ippies in my marinade. My marinade is more of like an overall, I use that for everything. It's kind of like, that's what infuses the flavor into your meat. The ippies is kind of like, it's what, Haitian sofrito, if there's any Spanish people watching, or if you just don't know what ippies is, that's what I would call it. The marinade, I think, the marinade, like, I don't put salt in my ippies, I put salt in my marinade though. The marinade is just going to, the marinade is more of like an overall flavoring for your food. I have yet to come and visit you guys in Cape Coral. I need to. I'm gonna add that little bit of marinade that I used for the oxtail. Get that all in there. You don't want to lose any of the flavor. You see that? You see how it has nice color? The bottom didn't burn. That's what you want. I also like to add a little bit of browning. I know Jamaicans usually use that a lot. I think it just adds a little something extra to the oxtail, honestly. It's really good. And also adds more color, because color is flavor, as we all know. Add the rest of my tomatoes. It smells so good right now. And so I have beef stock that I'm adding. I add enough to pretty much cover it, because don't forget, this is going to be in the oven for about 3 hours. If you don't add enough and you don't check it on time, it will burn, and you don't want that, because oxtail is expensive and nobody wants to waste oxtail because it's also delicious. I'm gonna let that just bring up to a boil, and then I'll cover it and then put it in the oven. Clean this up really quickly. gonna bring over my Moulin mise en place. So let me get some foil. Cover it. Tight seal. And then put it in the oven. My oven temperature is at 390 on convection bake. All right, next up is the Moulin. Browning, it's kind of like just like this caramel kind of sauce that they usually use in like Jamaican food. Okay, yes, man, I will post the recipe. I'll post the recipe on my page. I think I have a demo I think I have an Instagram demo of how I did this before in my Instagram stories. Not stories, I'm sorry. On my Instagram TV or on my YouTube page. But I'm not exactly sure, so don't quote me on that. All right, so for the Moulin, I don't have garlic because I used it all in my piece of my marinade yesterday. So it's okay because I have shallots, which is a cross between an onion and garlic. So it still works. Let's make that flavorful. I'm not putting ippies in this because it'll change the color and it won't look right, so. Oh, I'm making the Moulin. Hi, Yo-Yo. Right now I'm gonna make cheesy Moulin or polenta. Here is some chicken stock. I'm not adding a lot yet because I'm just not. It is my YouTube channel. The link to my YouTube channel is posted on my Instagram page. Yeah, it's the only link that's on there. I'm trying to bring my stock up to a boil. Hi, Nanan. How are you, Nanan? I love you. I can start adding my polenta or Moulin. This is very fine. I know there's different grain sizes of the Moulin. My dad usually likes the thicker stuff, but I like polenta. I like it finer because I was never much of a Moulin person, even though my grandmother used to make it all the time. So let me show you. So this is what my dad normally uses. number 16 Moulin from Saint Marc, his hometown, of course. But I use something different. And if you're not in a heavily Caribbean state or city, it might be hard to find Maïs Moulin. So you can always substitute with polenta. And actually, there's even cheap polentas where you don't even have to do it like this. You can literally have it already pretty much done, and you just have to add a little bit of liquid to like thin it out, which is actually pretty cool because not everybody likes to cook. Turn my heat down. And you want to stir. I'll keep adding stock so it doesn't get lumpy. I should do all of it. Yeah, I will. If you don't know, zaboka is kind of like a signature on my page. Let me see. I might add some more stock to this. This maïs is some more chicken stock. I'm going to use a whisk to make sure that I don't have any bumps or lumps. I don't usually measure, which is, I mean, I kind of just go from experience, so I don't measure. I used to measure when I was younger, but then my grandmother made me stop. I think that's good, and then we can just let this sit and simmer. So just moving you guys back over because that's gonna simmer and it's really hot over there. So I'm kind of like sweaty now. Any questions that you guys have while that's simmering? Yeah, I definitely just eyeball it. Yeah. What's that meme? There's that popular meme and it's like, I go until my ancestors tell me to stop. It's like kind of like that. It's just from habit, just from knowing what I'm doing, and just practice. Really, it's mostly practice. Everything has to be practice when it comes to that. You want it to be kind of loose, but not too loose. Like you don't want it to be soupy, but you do want it to be loose. You don't want it to be like a cake or or really thick and heavy, or you don't want it lumpy either. I am cooking cheesy Moulin or polenta, cheesy polenta with oxtail. You want me to speak Creole? Like, I don't know what you want me to say in Creole. Like, my Creole's okay, but it has to be kind of conversational. It just doesn't just come naturally to me to just start speaking in Creole. Sorry. Yes, yes, like loose like oatmeal or grits. You're correct, Yo-Yo. Say, how are you? Are we doing the Creole test to see if I'm really Haitian or not? Kijonye. Kijonye. I'm gonna cut up some more shallots to finish my oxtail with. And then I'll cut my zabuka. Let's see, zabuka. So I usually like to fan my avocado because it just looks pretty on my plate. And the oxtail, I cooked the oxtail for about 3.5 hours. I just put it in the oven. The temperature was 390 degrees. I mean, that's just the setting that my oven has, but you can probably do it at 400. If you do it at 350, it's probably gonna take a little bit longer. Is that what they want, Yo-Yo? Yeah, so it took me about 3 hours to cook the oxtail. I usually, like, unless I'm making it for vegetarian or vegan, I would use that. If I'm making it for vegan, I would use veggie stock. But as I said, I really do like to use stocks because I think that it just adds more flavor to your food. Oh, it's not good. Don't fail me, avocado. Oh, no good either. They're really messing up my avocado flow. Fingers crossed. I hope this one's good. Winner! I got one. I'm excited. It's the little things. Let me check my Maïs Moulin. Here, let me bring you guys over so you can see what I'm doing. As I said, I'm not used to live, so I'm just mixing it so it doesn't get stuck at the bottom. You don't want it to burn on the bottom, so you want to keep stirring it, making sure that it's just cooking nice and evenly. back to the avocado. I'm not sure. That depends on how many people. I mean, it depends on how the people in your house eat, honestly. Hey, Chef Tasha. So for my avocado, I cut it in half and then peel it. Got my other one. For those of you who are just joining us or joined us late, oh no, this one kind of broke, but that's okay. I am making cheesy Maïs Moulin and oxtail. I have to wipe my gloves off. Gloves are not easy to come by these days, and I don't like to touch ready to eat food with my hands because, you know, we're not supposed to as chefs. So for my avocado fan, I showed you I cut it in half, and I'm just gonna I'm not gonna get the top, I'm just gonna go right here and then keep going all the way around, nice and slow and even as much as you can. And then you can literally just push it down like that. And you get a nice little fan of avocado. Here, how about that? This one has a little bit of yuckiness on that side. You could just cut that part off. So this one had a little bit of ugliness. If you're trying to make a pretty fan, you can't use that. So it's still, you can still use the other quarter of the avocado. Cut the middle down so it's nice and flat. And then again, you can do the same thing, just gently. My pleasure, guys. It's just a cute little way to decorate your plate, especially if especially with a lot of Haitian food, most of our food is like rice and beans, meats and stuff like that. And we people eat with their eyes and they like color. So I try to always incorporate a lot of color, and avocado is delicious, and it's a great way to introduce some green coloring into your dish. I'm gonna check the oxtail now. I'm gonna bring you guys with me. I hope I don't make you guys dizzy with all this moving around, but it's kind of necessary at this moment. This is the magical one. The other one's still in here. When you do check on your oxtail, make sure that your dépouillage, you're supposed to take off, get all that extra oil and fat that melts off of the meat. Get that out of there. You don't want that in your sauce. You don't want that in your body. No, get that out of there. Thank you, thank you. Oh, I gotta show you. Look at that. So we're gonna get all of that grease, we're gonna get all of that out before we do anything else with this. And I'll show you, actually let me get the grease first. Yeah, you don't want any of this. You just gently, oh, you can't see, sorry. You're just gonna put like a ladle in there and get all the grease out. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Oxtail is very, very fatty. So is cabwit. Cabwit is also, or goat. Goat is also very, very fatty. So when you put the ladle in to get the oil out, if the sauce starts seeping in, that means you got enough out. So I wish you guys can see it a little bit better. Here, let me try to. Does that work? Let's see. Is that lighting helping? Probably not. The lighting is not helping. All right. So the meat is nice and tender. The sauce is nice and thick. It thickens up, as I said. So like when I put the stock in before I put it in the oven, it was very, very liquidy. It's going to thicken up. It's going to condense down. So you want to make sure that you don't over season it or over salt it either, because those flavors are going to concentrate, and you don't want it to be you don't want it to be salty. Let's see. You can see it's very fork tender. The meat, the fork goes in very, very easily. It's breaking apart. That's what you want. This is gonna be so good. So, so good. So, I wish I could share with you guys. Let's check that Moulin again. Turn the heat down on that. I'm gonna taste it. Add some more seasoning. And stock, because I want it looser than this. This is chicken stock that I made earlier. This is not store-bought chicken stock. Just infuse that again. Add some black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, I got you, Chef Tasha. Can't wait to run into you again. I'll send a plate next time my parents come up. It might be a while. So the color's a little bit darker on my Maïs because of the stock that I use, which I don't mind because it's still gonna be flavorful and delicious. But if you use the chicken stock, because my first stock was mixed with beef stock and chicken stock. And then my other stock had some seasoning that gave it a little bit of color. But you want it to be nice and smooth, yes. Taste it again. Yes, you're gonna see me plate. Yep. I'm gonna plate up right now because that tastes delicious. Cheese. This is cheddar and Monterey Jack. So cheddar Jack. I like cheese, so don't judge me. But I always put a lot. You can see the cheesiness, huh? See, I feel like I sound weird when I say it. I feel like I sound weird to like anybody but my family who's used to like my terrible, it's not terrible. I'm way better than most of my cousins. Got it, Mom. Heard. Well, the food's pretty much done. It's gonna be an easy plate up because we already did the avocado. For my oxtail, I'm just gonna finish my oxtail with some diced onions and fresh herbs. This is a blend of parsley, cilantro, and culantro. Just mix that in. There we go. So you got cheesy Maïs Moulin and beautiful oxtail. Moi comprends mais c'est pas faute moi, pas parler créole mais pas tellement fort en créole comme ça. Mais m'a pensé pour, OK? Hello. All right. Let me grab my plate. Now, if you want to make it a little bit easier to eat, you could do the oxtail ahead of time and take all the meat off the bones, but I'm Haitian and oxtail bones are part of the best part, like are kind of the best part of the oxtail, or the second best part actually. I'm gonna move this over here so I can put my zaboka. I know I'm almost out of time while I'm plating this up, but I just wanted to say thank you for everyone who stayed, who tuned in. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you follow me on Instagram and my YouTube channel, and I hope to be cooking for you again soon. Thank you again. A special thank you to Haitieville for having me. It was an honor. I was very excited when I got the request. And I just really appreciate all the support. I need some sauce on this. Maybe even a little pickles. Just a little bit of pickles on top. I think my time is up. Thanks so much, guys. I really, really appreciate everything. Don't forget to follow me. Don't forget to follow me at Chef_Tani on Instagram. And I hope you guys have a rockin' evening. And if you live in Georgia, don't forget to vote in January. It's very important. Kind of sweaty, huh? Oh, you want to see the plate? Sorry. I don't know how to, oh, there we go. Oh, I put so much sauce you can't see the avocado anymore.